So my name is Jen Bolton. I am a caregiver and the daughter of an aphasia patient here at the Aphasia Center. My dad's stroke was on September 4th, 2014.
Okay.
Before his stroke, my dad was one of the more brilliant people that we've known. He spent most of his time doing advanced math and engineering problems as a sidelight. He was engaged in what he called his project, which was essentially creating a new type of car engine that would run being powered by magnetic levitation on each wheel independently, almost like a golf cart, but then all four of them would work together so you would have a single steering wheel. Immediately after his stroke, Dad was essentially nonverbal. He would attempt to speak, but what came out had essentially no relationship to words. It was just sounds. It was fluent in terms of it had the same rhythm and natural pauses that speech would have, but there were no words in any of his utterances other than perhaps by accident. He had no ability to write. He could not copy a picture, copy a letter, nothing. He had very significant difficulty with following very simple instructions. But communication was a challenge. He could understand what was coming in, but he had no way of communicating back anything that he was trying to get us to understand. He couldn't write it, he couldn't speak it, he couldn't say it, he couldn't exactly point to it. For simple concepts, he was able to actually go and show us what it was that he wanted, but really he didn't. He was very, very, very compromised. We continued with that level of daily 1 hour a day speech therapy for approximately 2.5 months till around December, when we stumbled onto the Aphasia Center as a result of a friend who had also had a stroke, who had found the Aphasia Center and had really enjoyed and had shown marked improvement in his time here. I think the relationship between the two of them, between mom and dad, has changed a bit. They've been together for a very, very long time. They will celebrate their 50th anniversary next year, and they were together for approximately 4 years before that, so they've essentially been together since they were in their teens. They have always been able to more or less finish each other's sentences, but while that has actually, in the initial part of having had a stroke, it actually made things a little bit easier because mom knew pretty much what dad would want without having to think about it. It's actually been a little harder in the context of his improvement post-stroke because she doesn't actually give him the opportunity to practice actually speaking. You had to really play conversationary to try and get to what he was actually trying to say. Having him come to understand that life is different now than it was 18 months ago, that finishing that brand new version of a car is not something that's going to happen, is going to be something that's very difficult. Understanding that we need to sort of recalculate what our desires and goals in life are is something that's a bit of a challenge. A new normal is an excellent way of putting it, and finding our way to that new normal is probably the next thing that we're going to have to do.